Welcome, my dear students. In this video lecture, I am going to talk on attributes of good SRS. The full form of SRS is Software Requirement Specification. So, dear student, in this video lecture, I am going to talk on attributes or characteristics of good software requirement specification. This is my 18th video lecture of software engineering. The subject code of software engineering is 1618504. Dear students, I am preparing this video lecture based on State Board of Technical Education syllabus for diploma student. So, my dear students, this 18th lecture attributes of good SRS belongs from third unit of software engineering. The name of third unit is Software Requirements Analysis and Design. The content of my today video lecture are: in part 1 we will see the definition of SRS. Part 2 I am going to explain about the characteristics of SRS. Part 3 I will clearly going to talk on the properties of SRS, and part 4 I will explain about the advantages of SRS, and finally I will explain when is an SRS is said to be good. So there are 5 basic topics under this content. So my dear friends, I am going to talk on this 5 basic topic in my today video lecture. First, we will see software requirement specification definition. So the first point says here, the production of requirements stage of the software development process is called software requirement specification. Please try to understand, the production of the requirement stage of the software development process is nothing but it is known as a SRS, that is called software requirement specification. Second point says here, SRS is a formal report which is used to represent the software that enables the customer to review whether it is according to my requirements or not. Again, I am going to explain you this point. SRS is a formal report. This report is going to be explain or represent the requirement which is given by the customer. So by the help of this formal report, customer can see or review whether all the requirement which is given by the customer is there in SRS or not. Third point says here, the SRS is a specification for a specific software product, program or set of application that perform particular function in a specific environment. So these are the 3 basic definition point I covered in this slide. Now we will see software requirement specification definition continued here. So here it says that the software requirement specification serves several goals depending on who is writing it. So who is writing the software requirement specification? Again, it's a question mark. So who is writing? And if it is written by the client or if it is written by the developer, then it again serves several different goals. So first, the software requirement specification can be written by the client of the system, or in the second we can say that the software requirement specification can be written by the developer of the system. So we have a two possibility. Client may also can write the SRS, or the developer can also write the SRS. Now the two methods create entirely various situations and establish different purposes for the document altogether. But again here, if these two, client or developer, if they will write, then they are both SRS documents are really having different purposes and shows different situations. For example, in the first case, if the SRS is written by the client, then it is used to define the needs and expectation of the user. For example, if the SRS is written by the client, then it is used to define the needs and expectation of the user. But in case second, if the SRS is written by the developer, then various purposes and serve the contract document between the customer and the developer. So these are the two ways to write the SRS. Now we will see the characteristics of good SRS. So by the help of this picture, I just broadly I want to give the idea about the characteristics of good SRS. So here we have to see correctness, completeness, consistency, unambiguousness, rank for importance. So inside there are 5. Again, if you go up little, then we have a modifiability, verifiability, traceability, testability, design independence, understandable by the customer, and finally right level of abstraction. So these all characteristics we will see one by one in detail. I hope, my dear students, till now it is clear for you. So the first point, based on my previous image about the characteristics of good SRS, is correctness. So these features says that our SRS written should be correct. That means it talks about the accuracy of the SRS, where all the requirement of the customer can be accurately represented. Completeness, second point. A SRS is said to be complete if and only if when all the essential requirements are present there, related to the functionality, performance, design, constraint, attributes, external interface. Second point says that if SRS is complete if and only if it contains response of the software to all realizable classes of input data in all available characteristics of situations. And third point says that a SRS is said to be complete when it has full label and reference of all figures, tables, diagrams, and definition of all the terms and units of the measure. Then only SRS is said to be complete. I hope it is clear for you. Next, we have consistency. Consistency talks about the conflict. A SRS is said to be consistent if and only if no subset of individual requirement described in its conflict. There are 3 possible types of conflict in SRS. What are the three? A specified characteristics of real world object may conflict. So I am going to explain you. We have a three types of possible conflict in the SRS. First is that the specified characteristics of real world object may conflict. Second talks about there may be a reasonable or temporal conflict between the two specified action. So it's having a chances for reasonable or temporal conflict between the two specified action. And third point says here, two or more requirement may define the same real world object but use different terms for the object. So we have a three different types of possible conflict in the SRS. Now our SRS should unambiguousness. SRS is unambiguous when every fixed requirement has only one interpretation. Dear students, कहने का यहाँ मतलब ये है कि हमारा SRS ऐसा होना चाहिए जहां पर हर पॉइंट को क्लियरली मेंशन किया हुआ हो, वहां पर कोई इंटरप्रिटेशन नहीं हो, एक ही पॉइंट को दूसरे रूप में रिप्रेजेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्लियर कट पॉइंट वहां पर मेंशन होना चाहिए. This suggests that each element is unequally interpreted. In such case, there is a method used with multiple definition and the requirement report should determine the implication in the SRA so that it is clear and simple to understand. So our SRA should be clear and simple to understand. That is comes under our SRA should be unambiguousness. Ranking for importance and stability. Another characteristics, ranking for importance and stability. The SRS is ranked for importance and stability if each requirement in it has a identifier to indicate either the significance or stability of that particular requirement. So it talks about the rank and stability of the SRS. When the stability will come, if each requirement in it has an identifier to indicate whether the significance or stability of that particular requirement is there. Now, modifiability. These characteristics allow the developer or designer to accept the SRS when it's needed to modify, right? So modification can be done and thus SRS should be accepted. Next we have verifiability. SRS is correct when the specified requirement can be verified with a cost-effective system to check whether final software meet those requirements or not. So our SRS can be verified by the client or by the developer also to check whether the final software meets those requirements or not. The requirements are verified with the help of reviewers or review. Next we have traceability. The SRS is traceable if the origin of each of the requirement is clear and if it is facilitates the referencing of each condition in future development or enhancement documentation. So SRS must be traceable. When problem or when any difficulties come, then it can be easily traced by the developer or by the client also. Design independence. So there should be an option to select from multiple design alternatives for the final system. More specifically, the SRS should not contain any implementation details. That means our SRS should be design independence. So it should be nothing related with the designing part. The SRS can contain all the requirement which is given by the client or the customer, and that should be represent in all by using data flow diagram also. Next we have understandable by the customer. So at end user may be an expert in his or her explication domain but might not be trained in customer computer science. Hence the purpose of formal notation and symbols should be avoided to as much extent as possible. The language should be kept simple and clear. So our SRS should be simple and clear. Why? Because the SRS should be understandable by the customer. It should be not written in such a way so that the customer cannot understand. That means we should be avoid to use too much text content or any formal notations or symbols. Next we have test ability. The SRS should be written in such a method that it is simple to generate test cases and test plan from the report. That means we are able to be test the SRS if needed. Last we have right level of abstraction. If the SRS is written for the requirement stage, the details should be explained explicitly. Whereas for a feasibility study, fewer analysis can be used. Hence, the level of abstraction modifies according to the objective of the SRS. I hope, my dear students, you understood about the characteristics of good SRS. So this all comes under the characteristics of good SRS. So our SRS should be like all these points should be covered. Now the properties of good SRS documents. So what are the essential properties should must have in good SRS document? First, our SRS should be structured. That means it should be well structured. A well structured document is simple to understand and modify. A SRS document should be well structured and it so that it will be easily understand and modify. Next point says that black box view. Black box view. It should only define what the system should do and refrain from the starting how to do this. This means that SRS document should define the external behavior of the system and not discuss the implementation issues. So black box view says that SRS document should define the external behavior of the system but not explaining the implementation issues. SRS report should view the system to be developed as a black box and should define the externally visual behavior of the system. At last, it says that for this reason, the SRS report is known as the black box specification of a system. So that is the reason why SRS is called as a black box view. Next, concise. The SRS report should be concise and at the same time unambiguous, consistent, complete. So a good SRS document should be concise, unambiguous, consistent and complete. Next we have a conceptual integrity. It shows how conceptual integrity show that a reader can merely understand it, responds to undesired events. So it should characterize acceptable response to unwanted events. These are called system response to exceptional condition. So that is called conceptual integrity. Integrity talks about the purity or perfection or accuracy of the SRS document. Next we have verifiable. So the SRS document can be verified if needed by the customer or by the developer. Why? Because we can check whether our SRS document contain all our requirement, and as per all our requirement which is mentioned in the SRS, developer can develop the project or not. So all requirement of the system are documented in the SRS document should be correct. Yes, this means that it should be possible to decide whether or not requirement had been met in an implementation. Next, when an SRS said to be good. So, and what condition we can say that our SRS is good? So, some of the basic issues that SRS writers shall address are following. First point says here functionality. What is the software supposed to do? So, our SRS must explain the functionality of the project. So, what is the software supposed to do in future? Why we are going to be develop this project? So that should be explained in the SRS. Next, we have external interface. How does the software interact with people? That is the external interface. How this software interact with the people in the real world, and the system hardware and other software. That means it talks about the interface. That means our process, how is going to be interact with the hardware, interact with the software, interact with the people in the real world. So this all issues should be covered in a good SRS document. Performance, it's again issues that SRS writers shall address. What is speed? So these are the issues which is faced by the SRS writers. So these issues I am listing here, and if all these issues are shorted and clearly mentioned, then we can say that our SRS is good documented. Performance, it talks about speed, availability, response time, recovery time of the software function. So performance, what is the speed of our project, how its response, how it is work. So all this question can be come under the performance. Next, we have attributes. What are the portability, correctness, maintainability, security path? This all comes under the attributes of the project. Whether our project is portable in nature, whether our project is correct, having error free or bugs free, whether we are able to maintain the project nicely or it's showing more difficulty, whether our project is secure in terms of any type of unwanted, unauthorized access. So this all can be talks in our SRS. And last, it talks about the design constraint imposed on the implementation. So these are the points, 5 points, and these 5 points must issues or addressed by the SRS writers. Then only we can say that a good SRS documentation is done. Now, advantage of SRS. Software SRS established the basic for agreement between the client and the supplier on what the following product will do. So it's a agreement between the client and the developer or supplier. So first point says here, SRS provide a reference for validation of the final product. First point says here, it provide reference for the validation of the final product. Second point, it talks about the quality, high quality. SRS is prerequisite to high quality software. That means if the SRS is said to be a high quality SRS, then we can understood that by this SRS we will definitely get a high quality software project. Third point says here, high quality SRS reduce the development cost. Dear students, if we have a high quality SRS, that means all the characteristics is matched in the SRS and all the addresses all the issues are addressed in the SRS, then we can say that the SRS document is a high quality documentation done, and such high quality SRS reduce the development cost. So these are the advantages of SRS. I hope it is clear for you, my dear student. Now, summary of my video. I hope you clearly understood about the concept of SRS and its characteristics. I cover in detail all characteristics of SRS, and finally I also explained, and I hope you also understood about the properties of good SRS and what are the issues addressed by the SRS writers in SRS. Finally, I also explained you how to write effective SRS. I hope you understood clearly. This is my reference. Dear students, please go through these two books and also go through the YouTube link to acquire more knowledge about the SRS. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you for your patience, for listening and watching my video. We will meet in the next video lecture. Thank you.